bleaches and all that stuff are primarily water. They're water-based chemical compounds, and that's the reason they're having this effect. We haven't tried it on non-water liquid compounds yet. Wouldn't surprise me if it had a positive effect on those as well. But water is so quick, and water is also it's a small molecule, and it's a very powerful solvent. It's one of the great universal solvents. That's the reason it works so well with soaps and things like that, because this water-based compound is a very, very powerful solvent, one of the best in the world, the best overall solvents there are. So the bottom line is, you know, the world is your oyster, guys. All you have to do is utilize this program. But every once in a while, Kevin and I go, do we really have this? Is this thing really that cool? And the answer is yes, it is that cool, most definitely. In fact, it's far more cool than we even know. So this is going to continue to progress, and new applications are going to be found. New energy levels are going to be utilized. I can always make the machine stronger if I feel like I'm not inclined to do that right now. But there are tremendous, it's a whole new vista, just as much of a vista as the distance energy. So even though it's not as expensive, especially if you're on the distance energy program, I know that, okay? But that was done purposely because we knew that this water thing would be a really big thing, and we wanted to make the entry so inexpensive that people would just automatically try it as an ancillary addition to the distance energy program or vice versa. And, you know, the more you utilize it, the more uses you'll find for it.
Yeah, and the other thing is like, if you really are struggling financially, you don't know what's going on, especially in this time of like the economic crash and depression, it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. So don't think anything's turning around anytime quick. You know, the ultimate solution is energy. And like I'm not living in a state of fear anymore. I wake up every day and life is a series of unlimited possibilities. And yet at the same time, I know there's a tremendous amount of problems going on side by side with me. So sometimes I lose sight of the fact that there are a lot of people in a state of chronic fear, and they have severe financial trouble, and we're willing to work with anyone that's willing to work with us, you know, but we have to know what your state is. You know, we don't know what's going on with people, and if you withhold information from us, we really can't work with you. So, you know, if you come with us and sincerely ask us what's going on, and, you know, we will work with anyone. We want people that really want to run with this technology. We get more satisfaction out of people that embrace it and understand what we see than if you paid us a pile of money. You know, it's really, you know, we of course need to make money, but we're obviously not in it for the money, because it just, if we were, we would have been doing other things. Now the ironic thing is Bill's discovered this stuff, and you're on literally a transition from one world to the next, and this product is so powerful, it's really like the next wave. You know, it's going to overrun medicine. It's going to overrun the world of supplements. All sorts of crazy things are going to fall by the wayside.
Let me give you one little specific for those of you that might have a little bit of chemistry in your background, etc. And I'll try not to belabor this too much. The fact of the matter is, the chemistry of life is not organic chemistry. It's not the chemistry of carbon, like you may have been taught in your classes in school. Everything is a carbon chain. The chemistry of life is carbon. DNA is made out of carbon, etc., etc. Well, that's true. The only trouble is if you look at the percentage of certain molecules in your body, the vast majority of them are not carbon. They're water. All of your biochemical reactions are all in a water substrate. It's the chemistry of life is not carbon. The chemistry of life is water. And the carbon works with the water. The water is the prime mover. It picks up all these massive permutations and combinations of nuance that are out there in the environment. It is the receptacle. It is the antenna for all types of negative energy, positive energy, and everything else. All those come together to produce this thing called the human being, which is 75% water. So we are water people. We sense through water. Our biochemical reactions happen in water. They happen because of water. And all the rest of these things that are in your body are extraneous. They're just part of the water solution, and the prime mover is water. So that's why this stuff is so absolutely powerful. Even the distance energy stuff has to go through your water crystal in order to reach you. So again, it's the chemistry of water. It's the sensing capability of water. It's the crystallization of water. And I didn't only realize this about, maybe 2, 3, 4 months ago, that it really was a water phenomena. It wasn't a chemical phenomena. It was one chemical, H2O. So one of these days, science will catch up with that. I'm sure there are guys out there that understand, but I'll guarantee you one other thing. They're not teaching chemistry in the universities, at least not very many of them. So the vast number of doctors, chemists, zoologists, physiologists, whoever are receiving chemistry courses, are not being taught that the human body is essentially a water thing. The reason is because they don't know anything about water crystals. This is all new territory. They think that everything are these reactions that they do in test tubes, but they're not. So the water stuff is very interesting in this way, and here's how it's utilized, at least as I see it, and Kevin can correct me if he thinks that I'm incorrect. The distance energy is for mood, for negative, positive, as far as how you're feeling. It's for spirituality. It's the higher area out there. For pure energy, the water is the one. That's the one that will get you jacked up more than the distance energy will. It does not work with mood that well. It's powerful in that it energizes you, but it's not essentially a mood enhancer. Together, you've got mood, emotion, and energy. And the combination is just absolutely overwhelmingly powerful. Kevin, are there any comments that you have on anything like that?
I look at it, if you go back, you go into spiritual traditions and, what is this thing called Ascension? And, I consider it the descent of spirit into matter. So it's a descent of the Holy Spirit or your higher self or the non-physical aspects of your genetic makeup is impregnating what we define as the physical body or the physical structure, and then ultimately transforming it into more of an etheric inner relationship, one of a much higher vibrational rate. And so if you combine the water and like the distance energy, you're basically downloading the spiritual consciousness into physical form. And all these rapid physical changes we're seeing and rapid, massive synchronicities and high states of consciousness are simply, completing or accelerating this process of evolution.
I would just like to, for those of you, I'm just curious, for those of you out there that have tried the water and so forth, do you have any comments about some of the stuff that Kevin and I have been talking about? Because I know we had a little bit of conversation before the presentation. Any questions that you might have or comments?
Hi, this is Rick from Maryland. How's everybody doing?
Very good, Rick. Thanks for coming in.
Yes, no problem. Thanks. First, I wanted to just kind of echo what Kevin was saying, and that is they are willing to work with you as far as like the cost of the system. They were willing to work with me. So, again, thanks for that, guys. I appreciate it. As far as drinking the water, one of the things I did notice was that I did get a much lighter in mood because a lot of times I get very impatient. I've noticed that I've gotten a lot calmer. Also, I would say that this is kind of a funny aside here, but I know I need to drink more of the water, but one thing I did notice is that I have a slight bald spot in the back of my head. The hair is growing back like crazy now.
Oh, gosh. Too late for me. Good.
Yeah, I'm looking back at my head, and it's like, and the gray is I have a little bit of gray. It's starting to go away. And
you've only been on it a few days now, right? Is that correct?
And I've only been on it for maybe about a week at the most. Yeah. I think about exactly 1 week. So, yeah, it's been so far. I think it's been working pretty well. We're still experimenting. One question I did have: we bought a water cooler, and the question we had was, does the temperature of the water affect the efficacy of the water? In other words, if the water is cold, because we noticed that it tastes much better at room temperature, and you just want to drink it at room temperature. It's very silky. But we found that, and maybe we need to figure out how to best